Hello and welcome. I am Gimba Umar. Tonight, President Buhari called for assistance in technology to effectively man Nigeria's porous borders as part of measures in tackling illicit arms flow into the country. For the second time in a week, Southwest leaders gather in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, in continuation of their search for solutions to the insecurity in the region. Controversy rages over Ruga settlement program of the federal government. Vice President Oshibajo says initiative is not supervised by his office. And world leaders say ongoing trade dispute between China and the US fueling global slowdown as they gather for the G20 summit in Japan.
On business news tonight, multinational accounting firm PricewaterhouseCoopers says Nigeria needs to unlock about $900 billion of debt capital to stimulate economic growth.
On sports news tonight, Rivers United, Niger Tornadoes, Calabar Rovers and Kano Pillars qualify for the semi-finals of the 2019 NFF Federation Cup.
And from Abuja, National Broadcasting Commission states conditions for Ray Power and AIT operations as it lifts Dark Communications suspension notice.
Ahead of the ECOWAS summit in Abuja, leaders on the continent have been presented with the global size of the problems of illicit funds flow. A report unveiled in Abuja puts the figure of money laundered in 2018 alone at between 1.7 to 4.2 trillion dollars. Other issues raised in the report are flows in goods, people and data. President Muhammadu Buhari, who spoke at the event, calls for collaboration to man the nation's porous borders using technology. Correspondent Ibrahim Adra now reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari and his Burkina Faso counterpart joining other stakeholders to discuss ways of tackling illicit flows.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Please have a seat.
The organizers, with over 50 years' experience under their belt, seek to create a forum for dialogue on illicit flow of goods, people, finance and data. In its latest 90-page report, Munich Security Conference shows the magnitude of the problem.
On human trafficking, which is sadly, as it is, generates a huge income for 11 actors of all kinds. And our report focuses on human trafficking, forced labor, sexual exploitation, which, like I said, generates the income for groups and for armed groups.
Coming only hours ahead of the ECOWAS summit in Abuja, the report is of interest to leaders in the sub-region. President Buhari talks about the need to deepen multilateral cooperation.
I am aware that one of the key facilitators of transnational organized crime, including illicit flows, is the porous nature of our borders. This is a major challenge to our region. In this context, we will continue to count on the support of our international partners for new technologies to effectively police our borders.
Clearly, the transnational report requires careful study. Its recommendations, however, are far-reaching, including the need for broader coalition and use of technological innovation.
The third point is that we do have to share best practices which are out there, which we saw on Interpol and so on, and build capacities. And the fourth and last point I wanted to show to you here is we do need to build broader coalitions of people willing to get together and willing to fight those illicit flows.
Illicit flows translate to smuggling, human trafficking and cybercrime, used to raise funds that go into financing terrorism and other crimes, plus its attendant instability, with implication for all parts of the global community. From Abuja, Ibrahim Adra, Channels Television News.
Some Yoruba leaders in the southwest of the country are asking for improvement of the security architecture in the region. The leaders made the request during a book launch in memory of the late statesman Chief Obafemi Awolowo. They are worried about the spate of killings and kidnappings in the region and demand that the federal government put a stop to it.
Traditional rulers, religious leaders, elder statesmen among other guests, all of them of Yoruba extraction. It's the second time they will gather in 1 week, which underscores the importance of the subject matter. It is the security of the southwest region.
We Yoruba people say we cannot be banished from our land. And we Yoruba people say we cannot be killed and destroyed by any group of people in the world, not to talk of any people in Nigeria. We say that we are a strong nation and that we will stand our ground, defend our land, protect our families and our farms, protect our children and our highways.
Their request is clear. It is for the federal government to respect the federating units and consult them when making decisions on matters that concern their people.
It has not been like this before. The security situation is getting worse by the day. And unfortunately, we continue to hear from our leaders, that is our political leaders, that there's no problem or that the situations are being exaggerated. That's very unfortunate because truly things are happening.
The conversation continues on how to curb the insecurity in the region and ensure the safety of lives and property of residents.
In the North Central, youths from Zakibiam in Ukum Local Council and Otobi in Otukpo Local Government Area of Benue State have kicked against plans for Ruga projects in the communities. Besides staging a peaceful protest to register their displeasure, the youths and community leaders say that they had sent a protest letter to the state government through the Otukpo Local Government Chairman. Leaders from Ukum Local Government have also vowed to resist the project, while youths in Makurdi, the state capital, insist the people have suffered enough from herdsmen-related crisis in the state.
On Benue Street this morning to protest the said plan of the federal government of Nigeria to establish Ruga settlements in Benue State. If we could recall, Benue State has witnessed a lot of herdsmen crises and killings that have reached genocidal levels. And when we as Benue youth, we heard of the establishment of Rugas for herdsmen to come and settle with us, we are out this morning to say that we reject the Ruga.
All lands belong to the state government. So it's only the state government that has the right to give land to whoever he pleases. And the locals are holding that land in trust for the state government. Yes. The signpost that was there some few days ago, they came and mounted that signpost without the knowledge of the state government. And I don't see where somebody will come to your community and mount a signpost claiming ownership of that land without the community knowing. So this the state government will not accept.
In the meantime, the Mayete Allah Cattle Breeders Association says the Ruga farm settlement proposed by the federal government is a way of ending farmers-herders crisis in the country. The group's Secretary General, Mr. Usman Ngilzama, believes that the Ruga program will improve the pastoral market in the country. You're speaking on our breakfast program, Sunrise Daily.
The Ruga settlement model is a component part of the livestock development transformation plan that is being implemented under the Office of the Vice President. It's a component part of it. All must agree with me that the crisis we are facing today has it has become a multidimensional crisis in the country. So also the approach to be used in solving this crisis must also have to be holistic. So in the desire of the federal government to be holistic, that is why it is coming up with the Ruga settlement model. And this is a rural settlement model for the herders, and not only the Fulanis are herders. If you go to some parts, if you go to the southern Kaduna, where my brother is coming from, you still have some natives who are also herders. If you go to Plateau, for instance, you have the Ergam and other groups who are also herders. This is a settlement model that was intended for the herders in the desire of the federal government to come up with an economic solution of solving this crisis.
Still on the contentious Ruga issue, contrary to the claims by the Mayete Allah Cattle Breeders Association, the Office of the Vice President has denied supervising the establishment of the Ruga settlements. A statement from the Office of the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, explains that the Ruga initiative is different from the National Livestock Transformation Plan approved by the state governors under the auspices of the National Economic Council, the NEC. The council, which is chaired, of course, by Professor Yemi Osinbajo himself, had on January 17, 2019, approved the plan based on the recommendations of its technical committee. According to the statement signed by the Vice President's spokesman, Mr. Laolu Akonde, the scheme is to be implemented in 7 pilot states on the front lines of the farmer herders crisis, namely Adamawa, Benue, Kaduna, Plateau, Nasarawa, Taraba, and Zamfara. 6 other states, Katsina, Kano, Kogi, Kwara, Ondo, and Edo, have also indicated readiness to implement the plan. The Vice President's office insists that the federal government will not impose on any state government regarding its land. In the meantime, the governor of Ekiti State and chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum, Mr. Kayode Fayemi, is giving an assurance that the Ruga Farm Settlement Project is voluntary and no state is compelled to have any. Mr. Fayemi says that the decision to have Ruga came out of the deliberations of the National Food Security Council. He, however, promised that the Nigerian Governors Forum will discuss the issue if any governor brings the matter up as an agenda for the NGF. He was speaking on Channels Television's Hard Copy.
One of the solutions the federal government has come up with is this Ruga settlement, farm settlements, they're calling them. And some of the governors are already kicking. Benue State has roundly rejected it. Governors of the Southeast are saying they don't want it. Taraba State has also said they don't have land for it. Is this an issue for the Nigerian Governors Forum, and how are you responding to it?
Frankly, I'll be surprised if you said the governor of Taraba said that. The governor of Taraba, my good brother, Architect Darius Ishaku, is on the National Food Security Council, is a member of that council, and I believe this decision came out of the deliberation of that council. So if anyone is saying that he doesn't want it, it's, to the best of my knowledge, it's a voluntary arrangement.
Have you seen the response of the Benue State government? Because they came out in very strong terms to say that it is a gross violation of their laws and an insult to the sensibilities of the people of Benue State. Well,
I'm not going to get into any discussion over whether it's the right thing to do or not. It didn't come out of the Nigerian Governors Forum. It came out of the National Food Security Council's agenda. And the National Food Security Council's responsibility is really to ensure that we protect food production and we help states that have challenges. This is a proposal, one way of addressing what is seen by the council as a problem for those nomadic herders who need, if you like, a temporary shelter.
In part 2, after the break, Federal High Court rules that Justice Rita Ophelia Jumogobia can stand trial for any criminal offense she's accused of because she is no longer a judicial officer. Stay with us.